The Dodgers repeat. Did the Jays choke? NFL trade deadline talk, and the hot stove kicks off. Diamond Diehards is on. Along with the dog Jeff Healy, this is Joe Rizzo, and Diamond Diehards is back. It's been a while. It's been, in fact, over a year. So this is a so this now for the moment this counts as our annual show because we didn't really do a lot of these, but as we do like to do, we do like to come at our audience and just surprise the hell out of you. So most of you have probably have no idea that like, wait, what the where is this coming from? Um,
Did they sell out to the Chinese? No, we did not.
Anyway, you could look if you're watching, you could see my name is Joe Rizzo, and that is the dog, Jeff Healy. We are doing a show called Diamond Diehards, but it's usually about baseball. It's almost always about baseball or centered around baseball, but sometimes we talk about life, sometimes we talk about other sports. We'll probably dip a little bit into the NFL trade deadline day since that was earlier in this day, November 4th, 2025. But Dawg, it's good to be back, and it's good to be back on the air with you.
Absolutely, yes. It's been too long. You've been working too hard. So now we're back in the swing. So yeah, lots of stuff to talk about. Lots of excitement, lots of heartbreak in the last year or so, and yeah, we're ready to get it going again.
And three straight years at this time that the Giants are 2-7 through 9 games. More of that later.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Yeah, that's not what we were hoping for. But I thought that this was going to be the turnaround. We'll get to that a little bit later.
Yep.
Of course, Dawg. Since our last show, if you follow on the Facebook group, you saw the news. News now that's months and months and months old. But we did lose our all-time number one fan and biggest supporter, Uncle Paul, early this year. But he is with us somewhere. I'm sure he'd be burning up the comments over there. So pour one out for Uncle Paul, Paul Laera. He left us early this year, and we miss him. That was like I think that was maybe we were in kind of like on a hiatus last year, and then we popped out a show on Halloween, kind of for Uncle Paul, and his demise was then unfortunately soon thereafter, but at least we got him in one good show. So this one
There you go.
is dedicated to Uncle Paul, and he would want us, of course, to talk about his beloved baseball and Dawg. I put a poll question up there. I don't know if people will see it. They got it like a new dashboard here. I'm trying to take advantage of it for the Facebook Live. It's a little bit more work, but a little easier to kind of follow. So I'm hoping that if that poll is up there somewhere. Did the Blue Jays choke, Dawg? Did the Blue Jays choke? It's a simple yes or no. Um,
No, I don't
you're
think
gonna
so.
you go no. I'm gonna go yes.
No.
I'm gonna
Okay.
go yes.
Makes it fun.
So do we just go no yes or do we give a why?
I think yeah, I think we gotta talk it a little bit.
Okay. Why no for you?
I would say no because the Dodgers went and they executed it and got it done. Right? It's one thing if it was like a pass ball or something else like that, or a whole bunch of walks and stuff like that. But I mean, really, um, the Blue Jays played it straight. And what can you do? I mean, you 3-2, you got to get the ball over and make Miguel Rojas get on base ahead of Otani. Um, and the guy just drilled it, right? I mean, that's him executing a good play. That's not, to me, that's not the Blue Jays choking. Um, you could argue, well, I'm sure we'll get to it. You could argue, maybe they blew it later on. Um, but um, but to me, no, it wasn't a choke. It's just the Dodgers just executed when they had to, and The Blue Jays, I would say probably was the better team throughout the series, but the better team doesn't always win.
I'm so my yes is because the Blue Jays outplayed the Dodgers in like every metric. And so I gotta kind of land on choke because when it came to doing those very little things that made the difference, the Dodgers did all of them and the Blue Jays really kind of didn't. It was if you just looked at the stats, right? Like you would think that the Blue Jays were the ones with the highest payroll and the Dodgers were the scrappy ones, coming up with a way and just leaning on their pitchers and the manager like pulls every right string. I mean, the Dodgers hung on by dental floss, like time after time after time, and they still ended up winning, like by doing all those little things in the end that they need. I mean, and they needed to do every single one of them. Now, listen, it also helps when you have $320 million worth of pitcher coming in to pitch you completely out of trouble. But even with Yamamoto, like there was a ball, like he got some balls smashed off of him, right? Um, but there were so many epic plays in that seventh game. I think that if you listen to sports talk or you listen to podcasts, like the great debate is, was that the best seventh game ever? And listen, it's in the discussion, right? Like
Yeah.
there's not that many that were that great, but the thing that it had was it had the twists and it had the turns. And like to me, the craziest play was with one out in the ninth. He takes out Tommy Edman from center field as Dave Roberts, right?
Yep.
And so Tommy Edman is an infielder. Like Tommy Edman is a shortstop, right? He played second base and center field mostly for the Dodgers this year because Mookie Betts moved to short. And but by trade he's an infielder. And he's just such a good player that he could play the outfield and play it pretty well. But they took him out in that spot because Andy Pajes, who's been the center fielder for most of the year or been a regular outfielder for them, has just not been able to hit himself out of a paper bag. And in game six, they took Pajes out of center field. They moved Edmund from second to center, and they put Miguel Rojas into the lineup at second, right? Which paid dividends because he won the game in game six with a great, unbelievable defensive play. And he also kept game seven alive with an unbelievable defensive play. Um, but the thing is, Dog, I'd love for our pal Jeff Fry or some of the former major leaguers to chime in on this. He put Pajes in for his arm strength to
Yeah.
try to be able to cut that winning run down from center field.
Yeah.
And he didn't need it with one out. They got the second out. And for the third out, he makes this absolutely impossible catch in center field. And I have to say, I feel certain that as good as Tommy Edman is, I just even if he's faster, even if he has more range than Pajes, I don't think he would make that catch. And here's why. Andy Pajes is a center fielder, and he's got center fielder mentality. And when you have a center fielder's mentality and you come up as a center fielder, that's always your position. Every ball that's hit anywhere close to where you can get it in the outfield, your mindset is that's my fucking ball.
Yeah.
And if Edmund, is an infielder, he might not have that immediate instinct. And Pajes needed that immediate instinct from the moment that ball was hit off the bat. And I'll tell you something. It's a good thing that Kike Hernandez figured out a way to give way in that last possible moment because Andy Pajes was going to put him through the wall to get
Yeah.
that ball. It would have been better than any tackle that the Giants have missed this year or the Bengals for that matter. Like, I mean, he was going to put him through the wall because in the center fielder makeup, in his blood, in his DNA, I am getting that ball. That is my ball. And I think that was like, it was just another one of the things that made that game great. And for Dave Roberts, like it was just one of those series, dog. Like you see it all the time. Sometimes managers just they push what appear to be the right buttons. And like yeah, that's the move that you make, right? And it just every one of them worked out just the way like if this was Aaron Boone and he did that, like none of those moves would have worked out, right? Like Andy Paez would have like had a head-on collision with Kike Hernandez and they both would have been knocked out. Like the Blue Jays would have won the World Series, right? Like it's just one of those things that the Dodgers were the team of destiny. Like so in that way, that's why to sort of wrap it up, like that's another reason why I felt like the Blue Jays choked because they
And I
created
thought you said the Dodgers are a team of destiny. And how does that mean that all of a sudden they choked
because they choked it up to
at the
to,
Blue
to
Jays? Sorry.
them. Like I'm saying, the Blue Jays did the same thing. The stuff against the Yankees, like Aaron Boone was making the right moves. It didn't matter, right? It didn't make a difference. They were gonna beat them, but the Yankees were gonna have to do something different, whatever, so outrageous to be able to beat them. So yeah, I know. It is a little conflicting, and see, that's what you get here. It's team of destiny, but you say that they choked. You can't choke to the team of destiny. I mean, like that's what made them the team of destiny. Part of the team being the team of destiny was choking. Look at look at the opponents, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like look at each team that got through. Seattle was life and death against Detroit. They they get they break the Tigers' hearts and they advance. The Mariners are life and death against the Blue Jays. Blue Jays advance, break the Mariners' hearts. Blue Jays life and death. They got it against the Dodgers. Dodgers beat the Blue Jays. This happened like one year in the NFL, and I forget who it was, but it was like a series of it was like the Packers beat the Seahawks beat the Packers beat somebody on a Hail Mary, and then the Seahawks like beat the Packers on a Hail Mary, and then somebody beat the Seahawks at the end of the game, and then it was one of those years. Like
Yeah.
I should have looked it up, but somebody in the comments put something out there. You like it wasn't even that long ago, and this was like that, for the American League. It was like whoever won the series in a heartbreaker was gonna, well, I guess actually, come to think of it, the Tigers beat the Guardians to start it. So I forgot that. So the Tigers beat the Guardians, break their hearts. The Mariners beat the Tigers in a heartbreaker. The Blue Jays beat the Mariners in a heartbreaker, and then the Dodgers beat the Blue Jays in a heartbreaker. So whoever it was that was advancing through in the AL got their hearts broken, so to speak.
There
Anyway,
you go.
on that later. Bob Walker checking in. Mike Sarah checking in.
There you go.
Mike Sarah wants to know, can we pick up our discussion about where Juan Soto will sign? Yeah, I think he's going to the Phillies. I think he's going to the Phillies. Anyway, dog. Um, okay, so we got our little discussion out of the way. If you could find the poll on there somewhere,
I could not find the poll, but I'm not.
let me try
I
to
can't say
create
I'm super adept at this, so that
create
might just be
poll.
a me function. Hanging out in the community.
Let me
So that's
try
it.
it like live in the
So maybe I'm in the wrong spot, but I don't know.
did the Blue
I
Jays
do
show
see us. I do have my spiffy new house. I like to point out up there.
Yeah, I
So
know. The dog house
AI.
is in full effect.
I
Wait. Oh, not published. Wait. Activate poll. Oh, there we go. Okay. I activated it somewhere.
there we
Does it
go.
come up? Oh, even on the phone it comes up. Look at this.
Nice. Oh yeah. Look at that. There we go. Did they choke? Did
Let's see.
Are we gonna talk IKF?
Sure. Well, see, it's not
So
it's not really letting not really remove your vote. Yes. Wait, hold on. I'm trying to say yes. I don't know. Did it say yes? Maybe it said yes. Whatever. Anyway, we got a poll. It's there.
So
It's Blue Jays joke.
so it's been interesting. The IKF. So obviously we talked to everyone and knows the say kind of falafel was in for in this pinch runner. Obviously had to play at the plate where he's out by a hair. Super close play. Bottom of the ninth on there. So the big debate online is did he want to blow it by not getting enough of a secondary lead? Now I maintain clearly that he did not get enough of a secondary lead, and you can kind of see that, almost definitionally the runner on third base. So yes, you do have to watch out for a line drive, but you effectively take a lead out to as far away as the third baseman is, unless the third base is like crazily faster than you or something like that. But like as long as you're a comparable athlete, that's basically a distance you want to lead off. And you could argue that's how much you could, how much your secondary lead should be until you see the ball goes through the infield or it goes on the ground or something like that. Okay, if you want to break it up, primary or secondary, but when contact is made, you should be as far away as the third baseman, and you have a third base coach to help you with that alignment as well. So I think third base coach actually it's not taking a lot of heat on it. That I think he probably had some coming to him on it because he can look at both of that better than IKF can even do because he's trying to watch the pitcher as well. So, but it was interesting that I think with Jeff Fry and Justin Turner was actually making like arguments back, and that the primary things you have to guard against the line drive and double play and so forth. And I thought it was interesting. Like there was more of a debate on that than I would have thought. Like to me, the line drive double play is an extraordinary play, especially when the guy is going to try and keep the ball on the ground, right? So that's sort of another wrinkle within there of like, Nielmo's trying to induce a ball on the ground, right? So even more than a normal play, you're more incented that it's going to be something on the ground and you have the risk of being forced. So you've got to get there, right? So yes, I get you have to pause if there's a line drive, but to me, it's still very clear because if the guy hits it, and the worst case scenario is he hits it the other way, goes right down the line, like right at the base, and like Muncy can catch it and step on it, right? So that's basically your biggest fear one on that. Again, all you have to do is beat Muncy back to the bag, and Muncy still actually has to catch it, find the bag, step on the bag, or tag the runner or something else like that. Like there's a lot of things going on there that I think just realistically you can't really say all that's going to happen before your pinch runner is going to find a way to get back to the base with the third base coach screaming in his ear and so forth. So I think bottom line, I think IKF was to steal from Hoosiers was watching the paint dry on the fence and was watching the play
Okay.
at the very
This
first,
is
and he didn't get a good jump on it, and that wound up costing him.
this is a good one.
So,
This is a good one
so
because the pros and the former pros are all in unison that he did what he was supposed to do.
yeah, and I just
And the non pros and the people who never played in the majors are all in unison, unlike with the stat guys, right? He's hit a line drive to third base one time in, 3,100 career plate appearances, and the three other times he hit an air out to third base were all jam shots. But what they're not taking into account is a line drive when the infield's in to any infielder could result in being doubled off, which is like the one thing that you absolutely cannot have happen. But we've seen other stupid plays before, right? And
yeah,
that really wouldn't have been the stupidest play we even saw in the last two games because Addison Barger getting doubled off at second base when the left fielder is in his eyesight and
but
sight
yeah,
line rather, and also like you need to know where the left fielder is before the play, like especially when you're on second base. Like that was a much stupider play. like
yeah,
that was then if you got, doubled off at third. So the analytics people are all in here trying to say, well, it's so, it's a 1 in 410 chance that he's going to be, he's going to hit a liner there, and that extra step, whatever. Like it's so easy to look at in hindsight, right?
Yeah.
It's really easy.
Yeah.
But I don't think he was caught looking at the paint dry, because even the Blue Jays and the staff and everything, like they're saying that is how they want it played, and he's playing it the way that they're asking him to play it. So I actually don't think there's a I mean, when I looked at it too, I was like, dude, what is this guy doing? Like just take a lead off as far as the third baseman, and you can go a little further than him if you're faster than him, right?
Yeah.
But it doesn't always work that way. Like like if there's a liner toward there and your first instinct is to lean toward going home, that's going to be enough for like first of all,
Yeah.
Max Muncy played like Gold Glove third base in the whole World Series. Like he looked
Yeah.
like Greg Nettles over there, and like it could have easily
Yeah. I
looked the
mean,
way that
but yeah, I mean,
I don't have a problem.
I think physics still counts, and I still think that distance away and distance away, none of that can change it. Oh, you don't have to beat the ball. All you've got to do is beat the third baseman, right? That's all you got to do in that train. I mean, now the inside baseball one is, can you argue you take a slightly less primary lead and have yourself more like leaning forward, so the second you see a ground ball, you're like bolting,
I would do it the
right? I mean, I
other
don't know.
way.
That's techniques, right? I don't know.
I
You
would
do
do it
the other
the
one,
other way.
lean
I
it
would
back.
take a bigger primary lead and no secondary.
Okay, and so I'd be
Like
leaning backwards until you see it actually on the ground or something.
like a hop, like a maybe like just a straight up hop, like the way that you hop before
Yeah,
when you're fielding, the way that you hop before a ball is hit. So you hop, and then as you're coming down, you're when your feet are hitting the ground, you could go either way,
yeah. Okay.
maybe. But again, like IKF
He
is,
was about to me. He looked about half the distance away that the third baseman was, and that's inexcusable. So
but Muncy was also closer to the line, so that makes a
no, I mean
difference.
just distance from the bag. I mean, counting
But the other thing,
both
Dog,
ends.
too, is that, what nobody's accounting for is that as the ball is pitched, Muncy could take a step back, right?
He's
Right?
getting forward like that, and then that's the thing. Like he has to play Muncy. He
Yeah.
being IKF,
But
he has to play
IKF,
Muncy.
he's got
If
to,
Muncy gets closer to the bag, then he has to foul in the bag. That's 100%. I'll give you that. Either for a ground ball right to it, or the line drive play is the one on that. Yes, you do have to guard against that, but again, you should be, again, if you're dynamically doing it, just keep the same distance, right? So if he gets closer, you got to get closer. That's fair, but I don't think he was actually doing that. And then just when the ball was contacted, he was about half the distance away from the bag as Muncy, and he should have been. Like Muncy he wasn't holding him on, right?
no, he wasn't holding him on, but
Yeah,
he was playing more toward the line, than you might expect for a left-handed pull hitter to be up.
yeah, that's fair.
I think he was
Yeah,
there.
and probably to keep him somewhat close,
Yeah, he was
right?
there to keep
So
him
it's
close.
yeah. So they played it right.
The other thing that the pros all said is like just get off of IKF, because the responsibility is for the hitter to drive him in. Like when they all said this. Every like I didn't hear a pro that disagreed with it, and
Mm-hmm.
they all said, "Look, when you're on third, it's not as much about the lead or any of that stuff. It's you're there, and it's the responsibility of the batter to drive you in. He's got to drive you in. If he doesn't do that, he didn't do his
His
job."
job.
And
Yeah,
it's not on, like they were really,
yeah,
it's kind of funny, like there is a real divide. The people who played at the highest level all feel like he's without sin, and the people who didn't play all feel like he is. It's an interesting one, right?
yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's funny. Like as far as now I'm going to really reach and step out on here, but like I wonder if it's sort of like a little bit of the psychology, right? Of like the fear of being doubled off on the line drive is so ingrained into them that it almost overwhelms the the probability, I guess, on it, or just like you said, you have an inordinate fear
Look,
of
the
getting
shit
doubled
that
off
the
of balls.
Dodgers were pulling in like every game was the bottom of probability, right?
Yeah, true.
Like, I mean, and they did it like the Pajas catch. They always put these stats where I wonder what the catch percentage was of that ball, like or
Yeah,
whatever. You know that stat when they're like, oh, he had a 5% probability of catching that.
yeah.
Like, come on, like that they were denying the probabilities all the way. Hey, look at the ball that Andres Jimenez hit at Muncie that was like a
Oh, that was
missile at his
ripped.
head and he
Yeah,
caught it.
yeah.
Like he
That was
caught
like
that.
that was life saving. That
Yeah.
that was like that didn't go past the medulla oblongata.
So you don't think you
Snake
don't
brain
think
caught that one.
that IKF is he doesn't have that in his mind and everybody in the Blue Jays bench doesn't have that in his mind? Like you stay close because anything that's hit near Muncie, he's going to catch it and he's going to dive on that base. Look at the play Muncie made in the Philly series on the bunt. He won the Philly series with his glove.
Yeah.
So and he made play after play after play defensively. And it is kind of funny because now we'll get to the free agency stuff in a bit, but he's a free agent. He's 34, 35, and I was checking his numbers, dog, the other day. Like he really bottomed out like 4 years ago. He hit like 189 or whatever. He always has good walk numbers and good power numbers. Defensively, he's recognized as like a solid player, but not a great player. He's played second, he's played first, he plays third, but he's actually his offensive numbers have been on a slight and steady incline for the
Hmm.
past like 4 years in a row from like his
Interesting.
30 ages 31 to 35
Yeah, he's
seasons. Like,
35 now.
yeah, like he's actually like his OPS, batting average, on base, all of it have gone, I mean, listen, he was at like 189, so it was a low point. But this year he hit, what did he hit? Like, do you have his numbers up there? Were you looking at
Oh, let me
260
pull up.
something? Like, I mean,
It's got a club option for 10 mil, by the way. So I'm gonna
yeah,
guess.
but there's talk that the Japanese third baseman that's coming out is every good Japanese player, it's like a fait accompli that he's going to the Dodgers. And Managa just got free. He declined his option with the Cubs. I wonder if he's gonna end up with the Dodgers too. The
Yeah.
Mets desperately need that guy. I'll tell you that.
Yes.
While you're looking, Mike Serra does say
No.
bigger issue to him was IKF sliding and not running through the plate.
Yes.
Arguable as well. I mean,
I don't think that's arguable.
does the slide slow you down? Probably,
Yes.
but you know,
But that one I can kind of see more because you're I mean you should know that hey it's not a tag play, so you gotta be thinking that from the jump. But I can see that's a little bit more instinctual. Like
yeah.
you're ingrained to try and avoid the tag at home, et cetera, et cetera. I'm more willing to give him a pass on that one. That
Well, plus
yeah,
you don't know
he
where the
probably should have ran through, and the third base coach probably should have told him that on it, but
that
I don't know if I
it's
kill him on
also
that.
for a force play. Home plate is much more difficult. You're much more likely to encounter a catcher's foot or a spike in any part of the plate as opposed to like on a base. They're going to be touching the base because they could feel it without seeing it. When
Yeah,
they're at the plate, like Will Smith, I think he even had to glance down to make sure that he was there and his foot actually came off. That's why it was actually so close
yeah,
because his foot
yeah.
came
He
off
should have
the
been out.
plate.
Yeah,
Like it shouldn't have been as close of a play as it was. It was only close because his foot came off as he went to get the catch because of the nature of what home plate is. It's
yeah.
flat. There's
Muncie on that hit 243 on base 376, so good as always. OPS overall 846.
yeah, so that's a steady incline for like 4 years now in all
Yep.
three of those categories. So
Yep.
he'll if the Dodgers don't want him back, he'll make somebody happy.
Well,
Probably not the Yankees or the Mets, but somebody,
I
right?
get too many third basemen already.
Yeah, that's when you know you don't have one, when you have
Good
too
point
many.
too. Good point too. I think Beatty's going to take it this year. But, I don't know. Let's wait. Should we do And if you want to keep going baseball, or do we do
Uh,
football a little bit? We got. I could
maybe we
start ranting about Alonso and changing his picture, and it could make me start crying.
It was kind of funny. Well, let's do it like we could do like just a quick maybe like NFL overview and then get back to baseball to finish it up. How about that? How about that? How about that? The the thought pattern on the Jets pretty straightforward. I was kind of surprised at how happy the Jet fan was to get rid of Sauce Gardner. Now Quinton Williams, like he's not as sexy of a player because he's a I mean, although the guy who plays the same
Sexy now.
position for the Giants, his nickname is literally sexy, but it's because it's Dexy. Um, but they're both like to me, those guys are top flight defenders at
Yeah,
marquee positions who already have contracts, so you don't have to worry about any of the signing. You know exactly where they fit in your cap, and they're marquee players, even if they haven't played like marquee players. We got to remember here that, like, not that I'm just shitting on the Jets because of the Jets, but you know, they've been a losing organization. Of all the four major sports, they have the longest playoff drought, and it's generally a league where there's a lot of turnover year to year. Like teams that didn't make the playoffs the year before, like they make the playoffs a lot the next year, or the gaps are not that great, and losing can take down even the best of players. And I feel like Quinn Williams for what, a one
yeah,
and a two, and they got another guy back. I mean,
yeah,
that was a nice haul, but I think it's a great deal for the Cowboys because
yeah.
um, you know, if you want to look at it like, well, combine that with the Micah Parsons trade and what did you give up and what did you get? I mean, you kind of traded Parsons for Quinn Williams and you got a little bit more favorable on one of the first rounders, right? So you got an impact player at the position. He's not, again, a player that is of the same marquee caliber as Parsons, but he could be very effective for your team. And now they have two really good guys in the middle of their line, and if the Cowboys stop the run a little bit, their offense is pretty good. Like maybe they turn it around. I mean, they're always trying to win now, but he's also signed, and that's something that Parsons was not. There was going to be a contract issue, and they ran the risk if they didn't come to terms with him that they were just going to, essentially at some point lose him for nothing. So they sold high on him. And Quinton Williams is signed, and he's going to play, and he's going to be good. And I think, Dog, we've also seen like these interior defensive linemen. A lot of times, 27 is an old age in football, but for that position, I think a lot of times you start to see guys find their man strength and they actually get better. Like look at like Aaron Donald, like that guy hit his prime after that.
Yeah.
And just became an
Leonard
all-time.
Williams for a long time,
Yeah,
right?
Leonard Williams, yeah.
Yeah,
Like a lot of those guys, they get older, they just get that old man strength, and that's a position where it makes a difference. So I thought it was a really good deal. I thought the Cowboys stole him, frankly. I thought the Giants should have been going after him. Forget about looking at a wide receiver like everybody's talking about. Get a guy in the middle. Start stopping the run. I mean,
uh,
and the personnel issue, like I don't know how it could be a personnel issue with the Giants, but you know. Then you got Sauce Gardner, great move by the Colts. I guess a lot of people think
yeah.
they,
Win now. I love that move by the
yeah,
Colts. I love it. I mean, you know what? You're 7-1. Like Chiefs are down. The Bills defense stinks. Like Steeler defense also matching. Like this is like your one little window. And you know what? Go absolutely go for it.
yeah.
But
I don't, and again, I think that's a good haul for the
I guess
Jets.
you was
But
listening on the sideline.
look, these guys are hard to get.
Yeah,
Like, and he's young,
yeah,
you know. Like he's another guy who came into that team. And look, let's face it. If the Jets had drafted Jackson Dart,
yeah.
we wouldn't be having this conversation
Yeah,
because he would have been starting from day one from that on that team, right?
yeah.
And
I mean,
you know,
they're basically setting up, right? They're getting their quarterback, and they're going to get whatever else they need to round the. I mean, they're cashing all the chips in on defense to get all the draft depth to build the offense.
yeah. And listen, they already have a good start on offense. I mean, they have Garrett Wilson, Brees Hall, a couple of the other running backs are pretty good too. Um, and the offensive line is like not horrible, you know.
Yeah,
Uh, but now the defense is going to get shredded because I
yeah,
like you think they were getting outplayed with those two guys in there. Watch what happens when those guys are out. Like I know there's a
yeah.
little next man up thing going, but um,
Not from
you know,
those two.
yeah, I mean that's a big those guys even when they're not playing their best, they make up for a lot of other flaws. Let's say
Yeah,
they allow certain guys to play a different way.
yeah.
And while we're on that,
And then we go to the other side, where if it's broke, just don't fix it. Just leave it. Just leave it. Don't buy. Don't just leave it. Just leave it.
I
I
don't
don't,
have that much. See, I don't have
don't
much of a
understand.
problem with the Giants
It's just hopeless.
doing nothing. You're 2-7. See, here's my issue with the Giants, dog. Our Giants, in case people don't
I mean,
know.
they would have been sellers if anyone was buying, right? I mean, that's the bottom line.
Look,
What they had to
it,
sell, nobody wanted.
the
So what's that?
Giants don't have a personnel problem. They have a defensive coaching problem, is what they have. Like they, you take their talent group on defense and put it up against what a lot of teams have, and a lot of teams would be like, "You want to trade?" Like they have plenty of talent on defense. They do. They can't get. They're just. It's a coaching issue at this point. And Carl Banks, who you and I both love, we're huge fans of Carl Banks. Carl Banks, Bob Papa, tell a friend to tell a friend. First, tell them about Diamond Diehards, then you can tell them about the Believe the Giants podcast.
Tell them about
Um,
the friends.
yeah. Um, he's I think he's trying to light a fire under these guys, but
I think he was
I
just being honest on it.
I
Like
yeah, but I don't
the whole thing with Carl, like Dex, I'm like, we had our text on it there. I mean, I love the guy as much as Dex. I'm like, does this guy exist? I mean, yeah, I got it. He's doubled. You know what? The big guys in the middle, they're always doubled, right? Any good guy in the middle. You think Aaron Donald wasn't doubled all the time? You think Dexter wasn't doubled all the time when he was, putting up all pro stats and stuff? Of course, he was getting doubled.
well, dog. The
Is he getting
funny thing
doubled
was
more? Is he getting more now? Chad Abdul Carter and
in our
Burns and Thibodeau? Of course
what did I text 2 days before Carl Banks had his tirade in the Fordham chat? I could scroll through and find it if you want.
so.
But I said, I'm like, we talk about Dexter Lawrence and yeah,
Yeah,
he's great and everything.
yeah.
How come this team has the
Exactly.
worst rushing defense in the NFL since 1980?
Yeah,
Like if you're a defensive tackle, like how
yeah,
is that like you always talk about having a run stopper. And
yeah.
I then when Carl came out with the criticism, all the stats that I saw that people were citing in defense of Dexter Lawrence, they were all stats that had to do with passing downs. I'm like, I don't. There's no problem with the passing downs. Like they're the teams are passing, and they're Mac Jones 14 to 14. The reason why they're doing it is because they know that they can run, right? And then they could, if you know you could run, that keys your passing game until the ends of the earth.
Yeah. I mean, it's
That's not,
first, if I remember right, first game of the year. Right, Washington just literally ran the ball down their throats.
yeah, right down the
Yeah,
middle. They
again,
run right down the
it's
middle of them.
like
Now,
same thing as last year.
is that his fault? Like, who you look at
Nobody's fault.
the other interior linemen, the ends. Now the linebackers are not so hot. McFadden being out is a big difference for them. But when that is happening, and we've seen it over and over and over throughout the years, it is a coaching issue. It's a coaching issue. There's no adjustment in the scheme. There's just
Nobody,
it's
nobody comes to the Giants and gets better. That's
Yeah.
the killer.
Yeah.
I would even argue at offense and defense. I mean, you can literally count on your thumbs the number of guys who have come here and gotten better than when they came in draft most notably, but even like free agents coming in and stuff. Right. I mean, we got a good year out of Okereke, and that's about it. You could argue maybe Burns a little bit better. I don't know. I thought probably a little bit more health, and he was kind of great when he came, right? So maybe he took an extra step up. That's probably just more from having Thibodeau and Carter and Dexy on the line around him. I would argue than coaching, but yeah, there's like nobody else who comes in
But
and gets better.
these are scheme things. Like and I as you know, I love
And
Carlos
no,
Santana.
well, and Carl will say, I will say now, it's gotten bad where like Carl I'm saying, like at some point, just get off your block and make a tackle, right?
Yeah.
It's like you can just keep it whatever. I'm like, the whole point is yes, they're trying to block you, right? It's who defeats that one on one or occasionally the two on one defeats that and is able to stop the next guy, right? That's why they ran the Oklahoma and like shed the blocker and make the tackle. I'm like, that's literally the heart of defense. Like, the whole point is getting off the block, not just like you're positioned perfectly in that gap. That makes it better, it makes it easier. That's great, but it's still defeat the guy in front of you and make the tackle. Be where you're supposed to be. And if 11 you line up like that, they got no place to go. I mean, and Carl said that forever. And he's 100% right on, obviously. So,
But again, to me, that coaches have to put players in a position to succeed, and when you just look at the talent that's there, there's no way that they should be this bad against the run. It's just impossible, right? Like they're just
the
defensively,
front seven, it's ridiculous on it.
yeah,
You know,
defensively
the
getting
secondary's been weaker. The secondary got hurt last couple of weeks. Got it. Okay. You shouldn't have two guys getting 100 yards each against you like
yeah.
the Eagles.
In the
Who couldn't
NFL,
run?
it's an adjustment game, it's a scheme
Niners can't
game.
run. They ran over them.
I know. Yeah,
Crazy.
they had the worst. I mean, they have Christian McCaffrey, but they did
Yeah.
have the worst rushing offense in the NFL,
I mean,
and they just ran it well, you
yeah.
know. So stop the run. Like Jackson Dart is proving out
Yeah.
to me. Like
Keep
I
Jackson Dart alive
well, here's the thing.
and protect him from himself.
My pal, our buddy Mike Francesa he was really pushing for the Giants to go after Jalen Waddle or get a wide receiver for him, get him a weapon. And I'm like, no, I don't spend an ounce of cap past this year on another wide receiver. Like you have enough weapon. He's already showing you that he could score with the guys that he has. So when Neighbors and Scattaboo come back, and then whoever else you bring in off the free agency draft, whatever, you're gonna have more than enough. Don't make the same mistake that the Colts made for most of Peyton Manning's career, where they were like, "Oh my God, we got to get this guy weapons, weapons, weapons." Like he doesn't need weapons. Like he is the weapon. Like you give him like good guys, and maybe like a great guy, and he's going to tear up everybody. And he's going to be the difference. Like, get him a defense. That's what he needs.
Yeah.
Jackson Dart needs a defense and an offensive line. And he's got
Yeah.
plenty of other stuff. And the
The
offensive
line's been
line is
okay.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the one thing, you know what? Maybe Carmen Brasil is finally the magic is finally kind of went. Actually, I will get at that. Um, John Michael Schmidt. He actually has gotten better this year.
Two thumbs
So
up.
all right, that is a guy who clearly was heading towards bust category and has kind of started to figure it out. So that's a good one. We'll give him a plus on that one. So.
Dog, we went from having no centers to having two.
Well,
Because the backup's good too.
yeah, Austin's okay.
I mean, compared to what we used to have, like
Yeah.
these guys were not
So,
sieves like in the past. And
so yeah, so we got eight to go.
Evan Neal's still there. Project. Think of a tight end.
He finally dressed. I thought they were just gonna literally run out. He actually finally dressed because we heard enough guys got hurt. He actually dressed on Sunday. But still didn't play, of course. Like, what are we
What
doing?
about some of these other NFL deals? I don't know if there were too many that were impactful, but The Jets being the
Seahawks can,
centerpiece of it, like as a Jet fan, you got to feel pretty good. Like
yeah,
they're positioning themselves that even if they don't get the first overall pick, they'll probably be really high. And if uh, the team that gets the first overall pick is one that already has a quarterback, then the Jets now have plenty of ammunition to trade up. If it's one spot for a guy they want, if it's five spots, whatever it ends up being.
yeah. It's supposed to be pretty good. It's supposed to be a pretty deep quarterback draft
And
too.
wide receiver. This is like a quarterback
For
wide
both.
receiver draft. So that which is one reason why I really thought that there was a chance they'd trade Garrett Wilson. Because if you're trading that guy, that's a little bit maybe easier to replace right away in the next draft.
Yeah,
I thought he might end up with the Giants. That was my prediction from a few weeks
that would
back
be nice.
before everybody got hurt.
Yeah, that's the one thing. I would have been okay actually spending. I think that's where the Giants not having a three cost them. Whereas I think they had a three. I think that would have been enough to get that sort of next tier down guy, right? You wouldn't necessarily have gotten Waddle, but I think you could have gotten, some of the other guys mixed around there and be your solid two, maybe bump Slayton down to three again and have Neighbors, new guy, Slayton, and then Wandell, and that should get it done, right? But not having that three, I think really kind of cost them on that. And they just didn't
Dog,
want to
I
step
would
up.
love to see Slayton just in a game at some point, not have his drop be at like the most critical time of
Brutal
the game.
time.
Like
Literally
he's a
was another
his
half a step. I'm like, he's even in the end zone. I'm like, he doesn't even have to hold it to the ground. I'm sitting there like, wasn't that two
it
steps to move? I'm like,
it
come
in
on.
Stratomatic, like we would always talk about guys being clutch and unclutch because it was like a thing, like a revert,
He's
an upside, a horseshoe.
a horseshoe.
And if it was a horseshoe next to an out, it became a single. And if it was a horseshoe next to a single, it became an out in the clutch.
Yeah.
And all his catches just go unclutch. Like
on, on a
it's just
seven.
a killer. It's a killer. And then it was epidemic in that game because Theo Johnson, same thing. 3rd and 9,
I
gets
mean,
himself open.
he's got a 10% drop rate. He is a maddening one. Now maybe that's something you can teach with coaching. I don't know. Catch the ball away from you, but yeah, you can't be a tight end and have a 10% drop rate.
Yeah.
Sorry. I don't care how explosive you are as a tight end, whatever. That can't happen. Right. It's one thing if you're the deep threat and you drop 10%. That's still not good. But at least it's like, you know, but you're not getting the ball in that 3rd and 8 where you need the guy just to catch the damn ball and fall down.
Yeah.
And that's
And he was doing all of it. And then he just
yeah,
fell down without the ball.
yeah. So
Although with the Giants wearing the 80s throwbacks when our tight end number 84 scored a touchdown. I had a good tweet. Zeke Mowat with the touchdown.
oh, the good old days.
I gotta toot
Tough,
my own
tough.
horn there a little bit.
Did it again.
Hot stove kicking off, dog. Hot stove. Shoto Imanaga, Cubs.
Yep.
He was good in 2024. He started out good this season in 2025, and then he kind of hit the skids late. 58 homers in 2 seasons, 32 years old, but he's been a big game pitcher internationally. He started that Japan USA game that ended with Shohei Ohtani striking out Mike Trout. That was Imanaga that got the start in
Wow.
that game. So he's been a big game pitcher. And now with this sort of advent, I think right now there's more so than ever because of what um, Yamamoto did, and not that Otani did so well pitching, but that he stepped up. I think there's kind of like a new respect for these being able to want to throw these Japanese pitchers in like big money games. I mean, listen, one of my favorite Yankees ever was Tanaka. I loved him. I would take him in a big game any day over a guy who was better because I just felt like he was going to just find a way.
Yeah.
So what are the Mets going to do this year, dog? What are they going to do with their pitching? Like, is is uh is Stearns going to finally say, like, okay, we're going to get some proven arms here, or guys with some upside. Maybe Imanaga doesn't really fit that at 32. Maybe he doesn't like him, but
I mean, they've sort of been trying to do the balance of some of the kids and the older guys. They had more of the older guys, than the kids kind of came in to try and help save them towards the end of the year. Um, they thought they hit lightning in a bottle again with Montez, and obviously that blew up in their face. Um, I think they're gonna have to. I mean, they just don't have the depth within the organization right now. You'll have the three kids up there, and Peterson, and you need they got to bring at least 2 to 3 front end starters to replace it, because Senga's taking a step back. It's probably just have all question marks again now, right? I mean, has Peterson taken that step and he's a legit reliable 3-4 guy, or is a great guy until the middle of July and then he runs out of gas? Um, I don't know. It's just question marks. I mean, the kids, are they good from the jump, or do they take the typical step back? Right. So all basically the entire rotation to me is giant question marks. And frankly, the bullpen is the same.
all right, let me throw some names at you from the free agents list.
Right.
Um, Zach Gallen, Diamondbacks. You're gonna break the bank for him? Is he gonna cost you an arm and a leg? Like, is that a guy you want? Do you not want? You could do
Um,
you could do quick thumbs up, thumbs down, yes,
yeah,
no.
thumb up.
Okay.
I mean, yeah.
Let's see. Any Braves? No. Zach Eflin, he doesn't really qualify.
I would
How
say
about
prefer. Oh,
here's
sorry.
one. This has been a guy that the type of guy that they've signed. Lucas Giolito, Red Sox last season was very, very good and hit the skids right at the end in terms of injuries. Didn't pitch that decisive third game against the Yankees even when it was turned. Lucas Giolito, you taking him?
I go thumbs down that one, because we've already got like 5 guys like that. Unfortunately, I good for a team, not necessarily for that situation.
Okay, that's
You need
fair.
stability.
Fair.
Yeah,
That's fair. Okay, Cubs, Imanaga. You in on him or you out on him? Lefty,
I go.
you're in on him.
I go.
Okay. See if there's anybody else I missed from there, from the Cubbies. No.
I'm waiting for you to ask about my John Gray.
Oh, he is a free agent. I know you're in on him.
Let's see.
Minor league
For the
deal.
fourth year in a row, Dawg's like, this is the piece we need.
Minor league deal. Invite to camp.
Ooh.
For sure. He's one of your guys. I know that. Let's see. Tigers. Nah, nobody that you want there. Oh, here's a good one. I think they should definitely go after this guy, Framber Valdez from the
Yeah,
Astros.
I like that.
So he would be a guy that you might have to pay more. You might have to give him more years,
Yep.
but he's the kind of guy that they need.
Yep.
He could pitch a big game for you. He's not going to. I mean, anybody could melt in these big games, but he's a guy that you feel like you'd trust. So I would be a 2 thumbs up on him. He should be one of their main targets, if not
Yep.
the main guy. Uh, Nobody from the Angels, Dodgers, no. Kind of funny. The Marlins, no free agents. How about that? Somebody's doing a good job. Jordan Montgomery's out there, dog. He was on the Brewers at the end of the year. Did you know that? But here's an interesting
Oh, I
one.
got it. Why? Your boy Bader is out there.
Tremendous.
He
He,
fits either team.
I know. Brandon Woodruff from the Brewers was very good coming back this year. And he's a high end guy.
Yeah,
And Stearns had him. I think he maybe even drafted him.
that's a good
That's
call.
that's a guy to keep it. But
That's a good.
again,
That's a good call out.
he's he's had some injuries, but I'll tell you what, he looked like he was mostly he was like totally dominant, or in like a couple of starts he got rocked. And there wasn't like much in between. He was like either his old self or like he had trouble getting out of the third inning.
Yeah.
Um,
Other
I
question from Mets is they blew up the whole like pitching lab and Hefner's out now and everything. So I wonder if they makes it harder for them to get guys in, right? You sort of had the halo last year of like, hey, also they've got some magic going over there. Um, the magic was not back, and now they booted it out. So I mean, it should be tougher to get the guys to come in this next year.
um
Number one, to get Diaz. First of all, we got first we got to take care of our own home cooking. There's
I don't
there's
know.
two there's two sides the Mets have to do. One is Diaz, and the other one is Alonso. And I don't want to hear. I don't. This is one I don't want to hear Stearns, this, that, whatever the hell else. This one should be a Cohen says enough. As an owner, I'm doing the owner override, and this guy is too important to the franchise to let him go off to the freaking Yankees and the Phillies. And I'm not gonna let you fucking do it. And you know what? He's gonna be the first homegrown 500 home run guy for the Mets, maybe only ever one for the Mets. Get it done. He steps up in big spots. He has earned it. He's had prove it after prove it, and he's proved it. So enough. Write the stupid check. Give him too many years. That's just the way it is. You're now Cohen, right? You're not Milwaukee. And this is one. Don't go cheap. Don't blow it.
I'm telling you.
I would.
I
I think that would be a franchise endangering move. If he went to the Phillies, that is a franchise
He's
endangering
not going to the
move.
Phillies. They have Bryce Harper.
Okay. You think the Phillies want to do that to torture the Mets? I don't know. Maybe I've seen that
No,
story
because
too many
it's not.
times.
It's he's like a
Let
little
Harper
bit of what
DH.
they already
Lonzo play
have.
decent first base for you.
I
I
mean, if
think he would
Harper
just
could go
fine.
back to the out, if
He'll hit
Harper could go
50,
back to the
50, he'll
outfield,
hit
maybe.
50 a year in the Citizens Bank. I think they'll find a spot for him.
Well, if Schwarber goes, then okay, then maybe. But you don't think Schwarber's going to go back to Philly?
Uh, I'm just convinced it's going to end poorly
Dog, the Mets
for the
got some other
Metsies.
big free agents to worry about. Don't forget about Griffin Canning, Ryan Helsley, Starling Marte,
Don't
Cedric Mullins,
don't even.
Tyler Rogers. Actually,
So many
probably
guys I
Tyler
remember
Rogers
even
is
on the
back.
team.
Drew Smith, Gregory Soto, Ryan Stanek, and Jesse Winker. You need all those guys back.
I like Static. Static's all right. So
The
yeah,
Yankees free
let's like the
agents
Yanks.
are Cody Bellinger, who I must have back.
Okay.
Paul Blackburn, who was a Met and Yankee free agent in the same year. Paul Goldschmidt is kind of an interesting one.
Yeah.
I don't think they necessarily need him back. Trent Grisham, another interesting one.
You
If
want Alonso? You pay up for Alonso?
the it doesn't make sense.
Goldschmidt was kind of like
Last year, I said
Goldschmidt did a great job for you. He
he
was like
was
the
a platoon
fallback, and he
guy.
was great.
He was great at the start of the year, and then he quickly fell into against lefties, he mashed them, and against righties, he was nothing. Now that was okay because he was better defensively than Ben Rice, and that was mostly just a straight platoon. But at some point, Ben Rice is going to shed the platoon. The matter is, do you want him to, like if can Ben Rice catch 80 or 100 games? And if you're the Yankees, you have that logjam at DH. So if you are looking at an Alonso, like you want to sign Alonso to a 5 year, 4 year deal, you got to have a plan where he could DH some of the time. And they don't have those DH at bats available as long as Giancarlo Stanton's running around. Plus, you need to age out Judge, and the more that they could keep Judge, DHing 20% of the time, they're probably going to do that, and they're going to want to do that. So I see them keeping a guy like Bellinger. I think it's possible they keep a guy like Grisham as long as he's doesn't. If somebody offers Trent Grisham 5 years somewhere, he's going to go. if they offer him 5 years, 100 million, like he's going to go. I don't think the Yankees are going to do that. If it's like 2 years, 31 million, like maybe he stays, but we'll see. Um, the Yankees have some interesting guys in the bullpen too. Luke Weaver and Devin
Alonso went
Williams are both
DH
free
to
agents.
Alonso went DH 2 games.
Yeah, but I'm saying with the Yankees, where would you play Ben Rice, and where would you play Austin Wells?
Not ever a base.
See, I thought like the experiment with Ben Rice should have been make him a third baseman, not a first baseman. And Jerry Milani's probably laughing at me right now because he's like, he can't even play first base. You're going to expect to play third, but he could catch. So I don't know. Dog, apparently the Associated Press has already called the New Jersey gubernatorial race for Mikey Sherrill. That was what Mike Sarah reported in the chat at 9:27 p.m. That seems incredibly early. I thought this would be one
Yeah, CNN
that
doing
would
the same.
go that I thought this would go until the wee hours. And I thought it was going to go the other way, so I
Yes,
am very
the
surprised.
auto pen was ready. They signed the auto pen. It was a free agent.
The fix was in again.
All right. Well,
Uh,
hey, there's a veteran. There's our veteran of the day.
yeah, there's our veteran of
Daryl
the day.
got the big
Yeah,
job.
I guess she landed the helicopter.
She landed it. There you go.
Let's see. Any more of these? Okay, let's look at the Phillies free agents. Walker Bueller is kind of an interesting one because he was just like awful for the Red Sox and they cut him and the Phillies picked him up and he wasn't really any better. But now, a year removed from the surgery, like he's only going to be a guy that somebody just takes a flyer on, right?
Yeah.
Um, but oh, and the Yankees in the bullpen, Luke Weaver and Devin Williams are both out there now. I wonder what is going to come of that. Yankees have some interesting free agents, but of all those in the group, I yes, 1,000% on Bellinger, and the other guys, I could just let's do a chemistry experiment, and if some of them are back, great, and if they're not, then that's fine too. Um, the Phillies, Max Kepler. I didn't realize that
Are
Max
you worried about
Kepler hasn't had a
some of the
year.
young pitching reverting, or do you think
Who for
they're
the Yanks?
yeah?
Uh, no. I think it's just like a case where Luke Weaver kind of just lost it, and I do like him and I like his makeup, but his stuff left him, and he kind of went back to being the guy that he was before he had this great run. And Devin Williams, there's questions. You want to talk about Pete Alonso? Did Pete Alonso just ruin Devin Williams? Like, because he wasn't the same guy. Like, he was the same guy at times last year
Yeah.
that he had been previously, but he wasn't what he had been. And I think if he goes back to more of an eighth inning guy, like he was for most of his time in Milwaukee, then he's great. And even as a closer there, he was very good. But they have
So
Bednar now. Like we'll see if they'll let him close. Maybe they'll go after Diaz since the
it's
Mets got
it's tough to do it in New York, right? I mean that's sort of part of my thing with Alonso is that it's when you have that guy who has proven he could do it on the big stage, you don't let that go. You just simply don't let that go. Because there's a lot of guys, a lot of guys can go and be good in Cincinnati. Now a lot of guys can be good and come into the Mets and Yanks right now, and handle the pressure and work through it. And we've seen that time and time again. So if you have a guy who has done that, that's one of the good things George always knew. We'll give him that what the guy could do it. He found a way to get him in that lineup. So, there's
what's
my
going to
appeal.
happen? Oh, by the way,
Mhm.
do you think the Yankees make a big push for Edwin Diaz? I think if this like now that the whole Soto thing went down,
I mean,
I think they're gonna.
why not if you're them? I mean, hey, Matt, shame on you if you let him go. But yeah, I take a shot on. Why the hell not? Well, again, he's great and he's done it on the big stage, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, they should. And I think he likes the vibe on the Mets and everything. So I think there's no reason for them not to pay what they gotta pay, and just go out and do it.
You know,
But
it
could the Yankees certainly do it? Absolutely, they
your
could. They should
discussion
try.
your discussion about Alonso to the Phillies is kind of an interesting one because Kyle Schwarber really is he's kind of the domino in all that.
Yeah,
Like if he stays, they're just not there's no reason that they would go after Alonso. But if he leaves, that's a different story. I mean, my buddy Glenn wants him
come
for
to the
the
Mets.
Yankees.
I
I'm
mean,
like,
that's the way oddball thing to take, right? That's the way a
yeah.
sort of obvious fit is they do a swaparoo. Now, I don't think that makes sense, but I mean, it's possible, I
My
suppose.
buddy Glenn wants him for the Yankees. I'm like, how many DHs can we have? Like we already have three. Like, you know, um,
The Mets
I
probably
don't.
figured the Mets need to figure out third base slash. They need to probably just bite the bullet and realize it's probably going to be Beatty, and they gotta fix center field. They tried to do it last year and they weren't able to do it. So they
Well,
need to
Trent
show
Grisham's a good. I mean, he would be a perfect fit.
good.
Catches the ball, catches everything,
Yeah,
has some power, lefty bat. Although they'd actually become very left-handed.
yeah.
Um, but you know who's an interesting guy from the Phillies that's a free agent that I really like is Ranger Suarez. Lefty, doesn't shy away in the big game.
Yes.
I also like him because he's one of these guys that in a playoff series, he did it this year. He could pitch out of the bullpen, but he's still, got top level kind of moxie and stuff. So I think definitely a guy. Again, the Mets should have him on I mean, they could build if they go heavy and they want to throw Steve Cohen's money around. They could put together a real heck of a rotation of some guys that have big, upsides with great track records. They really could. And Suarez would be Framber Valdez, Brandon Woodruff. Those are three guys the Mets should be doing everything they can to get in the door. Let's skip down to the Padres. A couple interesting ones there. Dylan Cease, he's another guy the Mets I think will be looking at for sure.
It'd be great.
But again, he's one of these guys that like has he has the stuff, but we're never sure about his head. In
Yeah,
a big game, is he going to implode? And also Michael King, the former Yankee, I think a lot of people think he's coming back to the Yankees, even with what looks like a crowded rotation. Man, the Dodgers showed you. They went into the season with like 9 starting pitchers, and like 5 of them got hurt for most of the year. And then in the end, the one guy that they needed to pitch again, like pitched again anyway,
yeah. Pull
because
an
everybody
oral.
shit the bed. So, and Michael King is another guy he's got a lot of experience as a reliever, most of his experiences as a reliever. And the Padres, Robert Suarez, their closer, he's out there as well. Um, but a guy that I love for the Yankees, I don't know how or where they would put him, is Luis Ariz. Like maybe like I say it now, I'm like, I don't care. I'll live with the bad defense at second base. Um, but when you've just seen so much that they have guys that, maybe they'll work a count, but they just don't make enough contact. And then you got like the best contact guy of his generation just sitting there. Like, just get him. I don't know. Just get him. Like, just get him on the team. Like, we'll worry about everything later. I could. Jazz Chisholm is an interesting guy. I mean, I can't tell if I love him or he's like a team killer. Like he does so many good things, but like in the end, there's these like fatal flaws that just get you every time. I don't know.
He's like Tay Banks. He's right there, step for step in the picture, and then somehow,
Ball
like,
always
what
gets
happened?
there.
I mean, you're
Yeah,
right there. What happened?
ball don't lie. Let's say I'm gonna make the call now, dog. I'm gonna say Edwin Diaz goes to the Yankees, and then the Mets get Robert Suarez to fill his spot.
That would be torturous. I
Justin
don't
Verlander's a
think it's
free
gonna
agent again, and so's Max Scherzer. You can get those two guys back
No,
again.
that would be great.
Try it again.
That worked well.
Yeah, try it again. Well, you got some prospects out of
We
it.
did get some good prospects. Yeah, one we threw away. I forget if we give Gilbert up for again. I don't know. We gave Gilbert up for like not much. No, is it Rogers? He might have been part of the Rogers deal.
Maybe, yeah,
Tyler Rogers, whatever.
yeah.
That was disappointing. Every deadline deal, which I thought was okay, it might be disappointing. So which is
Mariners
funny. They
have
actually made it close. They did all those trades, none of which freaking worked. And the kids came up and like were which sort of the thing we had chat about a little bit. I was like, that I felt like they could take a little bit of risk in not getting the starting pitcher, and that kind of worked. But just every like move they made for the bullpen just just nuked it. So okay.
the
Three races: New York, New Jersey, and Virginia. There you go. I guess Mom Donnie won.
yeah, that we
Escape from New York.
who knew who was gonna win. Escape from New York, Escape from New
Nick
Jersey,
Pilson Asset Management.
Escape from the Escape from the the entire tri-state area. If you know, you know. Doofenshmirtz Evil Incorporated.
They're doing new ones again.
I know.
It's awesome.
So let's see the giant. Let's see who else.
I got
Uh,
10-minute warning. So I got to take the Diamond Dog for a walk.
Josh Naylor and Eugenio Suarez are free agents from the Mariners. Well, so I feel like both of those guys are going to end up back there.
Yeah.
Texas has 12 free agents, most notably your guy, John Gray. But Merrill Kelly's a free agent too, and Tyler Mahle. Like those guys could be, potential Met bring in guys. Here's an interesting one too. The Blue Jays, Bassett, who I think just is much more solid than he gets credit for being. Bo Bichette, Sir Anthony Dominguez, Ty France, IKF, and Scherzer. That's kind of interesting, right? So I was talking with my buddy Glenn, and I'm like, you know, Bo Bichette at short and Luis Ariz at second for the Yankees, and then just you know send like the other guys away. That could be a pretty interesting configuration over there. You'd be putting a lot of balls in play. Both guys would fit in very nicely. But now Bichette, he's kind of an interesting one, you know,
Mm.
because he says he wants to go back, but now they had this run. Like, is it a mistake if they sign him back? I mean, they got Jimenez to play basically, short when
Yeah.
Bichette came back. Bichette hadn't played second as a major leaguer. So I don't know. And Jimenez still has like 3 years left in the contract, and he's
Yeah,
great
he's good. He's a good
defensively.
young player.
So yeah, the Mets, two, he didn't get a ring,
Two
but
shortstop, two
yeah,
shortstops for a shortstop.
yeah, and
Ari Jimenez for Lindor.
and the only and the
It
only
worked out for
shortstop,
everybody.
well, and the only shortstop in the mix that hasn't made the World Series is Lindor.
Oh, that's so hurtful.
Yeah, the other guy's got a ring. Rosario got his ring with the Dodgers last year,
Yeah.
and Jimenez he was on the doorstep of it this year until he choked. That
110 miles an hour a month, he said.
final answer. Yeah. All right, dog. You can follow the dog on X at Jeff Healy 8, like it shows on the screen. If you're watching on the screen, you can follow me, Joe Rizzo, at Diamond Diehards. Go if you are not on the Facebook group checking it out. Facebook.com/group/ Diamond Diehards. That's the community. We also have a Facebook page, but usually the group is it says Diamond Diehards parentheses community. That's where you can interact with us and the rest of our rabid and constantly growing fan base, who we are spoon feeding them an episode a year. So signing off for
When you least
2025.
expect it.
Signing off for 2025. Now the baseball season's over, so we're bringing you the first episode of the year of our baseball podcast. The funny thing was, though, Doug, like
F is
throughout
all, and we'll see you next year.
throughout the years, though, throughout the years, the funny thing was, I think we used to do better numbers consistently in the off-season shows than the in-season shows.
Yeah, that's true.
So, you know,
They like us. They really like us.
yeah, maybe we should just call it the hot stove, and then like
There you
we'll call it the hot stove and other shit.
go. We do cooking. Do
Yeah.
cooking during the year.
Politics. Well, we did politics tonight too. Kind of.
Deadline diehards. There you go.
Yeah. Hopefully, hopefully after this we'll still have the means and the safety to, to do more shows after these results.
We, we Diamond die harder with a vengeance.
Yeah. Diamond died hard.
Oh man.
All right.
Good stuff. All right, back in the saddle.
Back in the saddle. We did it. That is going to wrap it up. Election Day 2025. For the Dawg, Jeff Healy. This is Joe Rizzo. Diamond Diehards is out.